Alright, so here's some stuff from chapter 3, section 4 and 5. They're talking about quartiles and how to break things up in section 4, measures of positions and outliers. In section 5, they talk about the 5-number summary and box plots. So I figured we'd look at our quartiles and figure out our 5-number summary and a box plot. So here's a question from section 5. This is number 5. I'm going to download the data. Maybe I have this circle thing instead of my pointer. Okay, now we're in business. So I'm going to open this in StatCrunch. Bling, that means I have an email. I won't check it right now though. So here's my data. As we did in some other things in chapter 3, if we go to stat, then summary stat of the columns, like that's where I can get my mean, my standard deviation. But also down here you notice it gives you your minimum, your maximum, your quartile 1, which means the cutoff for your first 25%, your quartile 3, which is your cutoff for your first 75%, and then your median is the middle number. It's actually like a Q2. It's your middle 50%. So that gives us some good information, and actually what we have here is our 5-number summary, our minimum, then our Q1, then our median, then our Q3, then our max. Those represent my 5-number summary. So now if I want to make a box plot of this, I go to graph and I click on, wait for it, box plot. And I click on variable 1 and then I tell it to do stuff. And it gives me a box plot, and it lets me see what my minimum value is, my maximum value. Also my median is right in the middle. There's my Q1, there's my Q3. This represents my inner quartile range, the blue box part. That's the middle 50%. You can turn it sideways. Sometimes I like looking at this horizontally, so I can draw the boxes horizontally. Sometimes that's more visually appealing. Also, if we did have outliers, you can have my stat lab give you the outliers and click on use fences to identify outliers. And this one, if I did have an outlier, I'd have some star out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate my data for a second. I'm going to put in some extra big number like 120. And now when I make my box plot, graph, I got to hit the right button, box plot. I use fences as outliers, and I'm going to do it horizontally again. And compute, we'll see that we have a star out here. That represents my outlier. So just a way to get a visual representation of what's going on with our data.